Welcome to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast with Jacob Ayers, providing actionable content to help you along your journey to financial freedom through real estate investing. As the premier asset class, real estate has helped ordinary people just like you amass fortunes. The benefits of passive income from real estate investing will allow you to live a life you want. And now your host, entrepreneur, real estate investor, and apartment deal syndicator, Jacob Ayers.
Hi, and welcome to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast, episode 215. Hi, I'm your host, Jacob Ayers, and you are listening to another episode of Friday Fundamentals. Hi, and welcome back to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Well, today's Friday Fundamental is Your Rich Life. Now, this Friday Fundamental is inspired by a recent book I read for the second time called I Will Teach You to Be Rich by author Ramit Sethi. It's a New York Times bestseller, and in the book, Ramit talks about a philosophy he calls Your Rich Life. Now, from the title of the book, you might think it's filled with get-rich-quick schemes about Bitcoin, forex, and all these other terms that I have no idea about, and perhaps you don't either. But in fact, it's just the opposite. It's filled with sensible tactics to help you control your money and use it as a tool to live your rich life. The best part is your rich life isn't necessarily measured by money alone. To many people, being rich means having a certain amount of money. That may be $10,000, $100,000, or even $1 million. But rich can mean much more than money. Living your rich life means you are able to do the things that you want, when you want, how you want, and on your own terms. Your rich life doesn't necessarily mean you have complete freedom all the time, but it could mean that you have the freedom to take, say, 2 months off every summer and travel lavishly with your family wherever you want without worrying about expenses. It could mean that you are able to afford the things that really matter to you, whether that be traveling, clothes, a nice home, convenience, etc. Your rich life is a concept I find a lot of value in when deciding how you want to live your life. It's a framework for deciding what matters to you and what doesn't, and then taking action around the things that do. There's a quote by Peter McWilliams that says, "You can have anything in life you really want, but you can't have everything you really want. Decide." Your rich life is about deciding what matters to you and doing that. Here's some ways to live your rich life. First, figure out what really matters to you. What do you value and truly enjoy? What gives you a sense of fulfillment? This is the foundation for building your rich life. You may value luxury, convenience, peace of mind, comfort, traveling to as many new places as possible, spending time with family, a high-paying job, or anything else. Everyone has their own interests. It's important to understand what yours are. Remember, you can't have everything, but you can have anything. Your rich life is about deciding what matters most to you and living your life around that. Next, figure out what doesn't really matter to you. Many people have interests that don't align with yours, and it can be easy to get wrapped up wanting what other people want. Perhaps you don't want your friend's dream job, or share the same tastes in luxury cars, or care about having season tickets to your city's sports team. That's okay. You are your own unique individual. Don't worry about keeping up with the Joneses if they aren't doing what you want and living the rich life you want. 3, cut costs mercilessly on the things you don't care about and then spend extravagantly on the things you do care about. This is another thing that Ramit talks about in his book. It's okay to spend on things that you care about so long as you keep them in check with your financial ability, of course. And then cut costs on the things that don't matter to you as much. By cutting costs, you give yourself the freedom and permission to do the things that you love. You don't spend your time or money doing things just because other people are doing them. And then lastly, align your rich life to your goals. If your goal is to, let's say, spend every summer traveling with your family, then build your rich life around being able to do just that. Spend your time and energy doing that rather than getting caught up in something you don't care as much about. Living your rich life is about deciding and balancing what matters most to you. When you decide what your rich life looks like, you can begin to build that for yourself. Having clarity around what matters and what doesn't will allow you to really focus on what makes you happy and living the life that you want. It gives you the freedom to stop doing the things that you don't care about. By cutting costs mercilessly on the things you don't care about, you are able to spend extravagantly on the things you do care about. So, what does your rich life look like? What things will you focus on? And what things will you let go of? Remember, you can have anything in this life you want. You just have to decide what that is and then go do it. So go live your rich life. Well, that wraps up this week's episode of Friday Fundamentals. Hey, I really hope you're getting value from this podcast. If you like what you heard, please go over and leave a rating and review on whichever platform you're listening on. As always, for more information, resources, and to connect with me, you can do so at www.jacobayers.com. Till next week, engineer the lifestyle you want.
You've been listening to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast, providing you actionable content to build your real estate empire. Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for personal advice. The opinions of guests are their own. Information is not guaranteed. All investment strategies have a potential for profit or loss. The host is operating on behalf of the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom, LLC, exclusively.